when I was researching you, when I was listening to your stream with Justin from several years ago on Stoic Solutions, you were talking about this urge to be genuine. I think that for a lot of people who care about liberty and the ability to live one's life without repercussions in that regard, authenticity should really be a big component in that.
Well, absolutely. And movements and streams of thought require firebrands, as you describe yourself, and Dawkins. I tend to be more of the quiet atheist variety. And so, although I don't dissemble and pretend to be anything that I'm not, I won't always correct somebody. I don't find it necessary to go to every argument that I'm invited to or die on every hill and that kind of thing. And I've probably even rubbed a little zombie guts on myself once or twice. That's a reference to The Walking Dead, where one way to keep the zombies away is to rub a little zombie guts on you. It's just not always worth it. But there is a real problem when we just sort of go along completely. And I've not been involved in the organized atheist movement as you have, but I see the problems that have arisen there and the importance of not just going along and certainly breaking away. And the way in which the wokeism seems to have taken over really doesn't surprise me in a way, because Nietzsche's diagnosis of the death of God is that its shadows would be cast for centuries to come. And in particular, he was concerned about so-called atheists, that they really would not live without God, without religion, that they would just find other things to deify or make religions into. And certainly you see that with all kinds of secular ideologies. John McWhorter, in his recent book, Woke Racism, talks about wokeism as a religion, and he has a nice analysis of that and its template, and you can argue about whether that's fitting or not, but it certainly seems to be filling a hole for people that shouldn't necessarily be there. And to me, that's one of the real values in existentialism, is that it urges us to self-define and create our own meaning, and not to look for a group or some substitute for what may have been there originally in terms of religious belief. And that's a particular challenge for people like me, and it sounds like you, Thomas, who start off coming from a religious background. I mean, to me, losing faith in God was a tremendous upheaval, just the way that Nietzsche said it would be. And, you know, I could have fled into whatever, some sort of secular ideology, political, oftentimes it's politics, quite frankly. In fact, well, you know, Karl Marx's famous quote that religion is the opiate of the people. Raymond Aron, who was a contemporary of Sartre's, had a book called The Opium of the Intellectuals, which was about the way in which Marxism played the role of new religion for atheists. And, you know, sure, you're still an atheist if you don't believe in God, but you really haven't come to grips with the challenge that's posed by it if you have a substitute religion.
Yeah. And we've, not to toot the same horn every stream, we saw this, easily happen within the so-called community of atheists, so-called community of free thinkers. And I think coming at this from another angle too, when it came to new people looking at organized free thought, organized skepticism, they probably saw that movement as inauthentic, because they saw everybody moving into this kind of dogmatic way of thinking where they adopted a new form of dogma blindly, en masse, to where various types of people trying to find a purpose just didn't want to get involved in the first place. It was a lack of authenticity. It was a lack of actual value, and it was so-called free thinkers embracing a new religion?
Yeah, I mean, from the outside looking in, it certainly appears that way in some cases. I don't want to say that there are no genuine woke people.
Of course.
I certainly know some who are quite nice and friendly and seem sincere, if misguided, in my opinion. But it is very fashionable and very much coerced in lots of circles. I mean, I come from the academic realm where, that certainly is the case. I teach at a Catholic college, and I can be quite open about my atheism because I'm not a jerk about it. And I've always had friends who were Catholic priests and things like that, and they respect a good philosophical discussion, at least most of them in my experience. And being an atheist is not a problem, but being a libertarian, that's more problematic.
Even at a Catholic college?
Yeah, I mean, because we Catholic colleges just aren't what they were. I had gone to Fordham as an undergrad, and when I went to Fordham, I think probably 90% of the student body was Catholic, and it was certainly an important hiring criterion for faculty as well. And although my college has an important dedication to its Catholic mission, there are just fewer and fewer clergy and fewer faculty who are, devoted to the Catholic mission. And I mean, there are plenty of dyed-in-the-wool Catholics who are also wokists. I mean, and some of those are the most troubling from my perspective.